Zoe, I'm going to make a Massaman curry for you. This is a cracker of a dish, and I love it. Most of the time they put potato with it, but I'm going to do something a bit different, but we'll get to that later.
And I haven't had it with chicken either, believe it or not.
Chicken's
Normally with lamb or goat.
Exactly. I've got chicken breast because I want it to cook really quickly. So what I'll do is get you to dice it up about, 2 centimetres into little dice. And what I'll do is I've got some red onion here, or Spanish onion we sometimes call it. I'm just going to slice it really thin on an angle like this, so it goes all the way through. This is a chunky kind of curry. I'm just going to, throw it all in and let all the bits and pieces sort of, instead of pureeing it up. So it'll have a nice sort of body to it and lots of texture, I suppose.
Now, I know this is going to be quite a sweet curry, because it is your curry for one thing.
And I reckon the big bag of sugar in front there's a giveaway, isn't it?
There we go. Kind of maybe err towards the sweet, flavours that you're going to add to this.
I love it. I love the sweetness of it. I love the coconut that's in there. And, I'm going to trick it up a little bit and add a few other bits and pieces. But, I've got some onion here, some garlic, some ginger. I'm just going to microplane that up a bit. That was quick, really quick. I'll tell you what, Zoe, if you can pull apart some of that coriander, just give it a bit of a rough chop for me. Now, I've got my pan here and I'm just going to reach across you, grab some of this olive oil and pop a little bit in the pan here. You can use whatever oil you want, but, olive oil is what I've got. I love using it.
Now, how much coriander did you need?
About a quarter of that bunch.
Yeah,
if you get that and give it a rough chop, I'm going to throw that in at the start and then we'll save the rest of it at the end. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now, what I'll do is, that's not too hot, so I'll move it over to a hot heat. What I've got here as well are some curry leaves, which you can get. They're really easy to get. And, I mean, if you buy them fresh like this, you don't use them all. You can throw them in the freezer and they hold really well.
And they spit.
They've got a great sort of smell to it.
They do have a beautiful smell.
But, when you put them in there, it goes all the way through the kitchen. That's what I like. Now, what I'll get you to do, I've got some kaffir lime leaf that I've got, and I'm going to throw that straight in here. I've got 2 in there, which is going to make it nice and soft.
This is really convenient, having all those sort of spicy, lovely, aromatic flavours in a little packet ready to go.
All ready to go. Now, what I'm going to get you to do with these chillies is slice them in half and take the seeds out. But we're going to leave them whole, or leave them in halves, so we can actually put them through there. So, it's going to keep it nice and chunky.
So this, classically, I mean, these long chillies aren't often hot, but you and I have noticed lately that we've been having them in our dishes and they've been fiery hot. So
every now and again, you get a couple of hotties there. So, just have a little taste. I mean, if you're feeding the kids, always have a little taste of it first. But, for you and I, it's like a lucky dip, isn't it? It's like winning or losing the lottery.
So 1 in 10.
And you can see I'm just sweating that down nicely, nice and slowly. And the beauty of it is as we prepare some stuff, we can just throw it straight into the pot here. See that lemongrass just jumps straight out of the pot there? I don't know, it must be alive. That's how fresh it is. In goes the coriander. We want to sort of layer up the flavours here, lots and lots of flavours. I've got some star anise. Yeah. And it looks beautiful. You've got that little star shape there, and some cinnamon.
I'm a big fan of cinnamon. It's really good for your blood glucose levels. A nice thing to do, because often when you get cinnamon, you have a little bit of it left over. Throw it in some hot water, steep it with a little bit of ginger. It makes the most beautiful tea.
Now, I've got some curry paste here. This is going to taste good on its own, but if you want to give it a little bit more spice, a little bit more spice and a little bit more of the Massaman flavour, I'm just going to add a little bit of that curry paste. About a tablespoon is what you need. I'll put a little bit more in there.
And it's great, look, again, we always talk about us making everything from scratch, but having convenient products does mean that you're going to make some good, flavour some dishes. Obviously, in my case, healthy. In your case, a little bit more indulgent.
But the thing about this, the curry paste, you've got that oil on top. Yeah. I make sure the oil goes in because it adds a bit of colour to it.
It sort of sits on top. And
it's got great flavour to it, which is really important.
Really nice.
So I've sweated that down a little bit. Now I'm going to start adding some coconut cream. I'll add a bit of that in there because I want a little bit of, I love that coconut flavour. I've also got for you some light coconut milk.
So I was about to say, hang on, Adrian, you're using my ingredients. You've got light coconut.
Light and heavy.
Used to like... That's what he calls balance. A bit of fat with a little bit of extra fat, but slightly less.
Balance, that's what they say in French.
Balance, is it?
I've got some fish sauce I've just added in there, and I've got some stock. I'm just going to add a little bit of chicken stock there, just to get some more juices, I suppose, some chicken juices. Lovely. And what I'll do is just give that a bit of a stir out. You can smell it. It smells really good, doesn't it? Now,
really nice.
I would normally let that simmer for 20 minutes, maybe just an hour or so. But I want to cook this really quickly, And that's the beauty of using the chicken breast. It's going to go straight in. By the time this comes up to the boil and simmers for a couple of minutes, the chicken's going to be cooked, and I reckon that'll give us some time to clean all this down. Oh, I forgot something, Zoe. The sweetness.
No, I wasn't going to say anything because I knew you'd forgotten that.
Oh, you tried to catch me out. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of sugar in there to give it nice and sweet. So what we'll do is we'll clean this up. By the time we come back, the chicken will be cooked and we'll be able to add some of the fresh herbs there. This will be delicious. Look at that, Zoe. It's looking fantastic.
That's got some serious heat in it.
It has. And it's got some fresh herbs in at the end, which is what I like to do to make it nice and tasty. Yeah, stir that around. Now, a little tip, if I'm using things like fish sauce and a curry paste, I'm very careful about how much salt I put in there. So what I do is taste it now before I add any salt. So I know...
Can you just say that again? I want to record it. Everyone at home, take note.
Well, I know you're very sensitive with your salt, so I want to make sure I haven't got enough. So if you can pass me that salt. There we go. And I will put a pinch in there. Now, what I will do is also...
Put that much, really, in the scheme of things.
It was about half a teaspoon.
Impressed. Oh, wow.
Because it is salty and I want you to enjoy it. You put your kale in your curry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put some snow pea tendrils in here.
Lovely.
You know, just to make it nice and green. I reckon I'm softening up a little bit,
I reckon
Zoe.
you are.
There's something wrong with me, Kay. But,
and I'm not getting any sort of more indulgent, so I reckon I'm rubbing off on you in the better way.
Slowly, slowly. Now, what I've got here is it's all ready to go. Got some green in here. Like I said before, normally with a Massaman curry, you'd have potato in there, but I'll just spoon this in there. You know, I've just put the herbs and the green stuff in right at the end so it stays nice and fresh and green. Got plenty of good colour. And you can see the big bits of chilli in there. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I think it presents really beautifully. And if you were to serve this at home, I love having that, you know, big chunky look with the chilli and the lemongrass. It's beautiful.
Nice and rustic. Now, I've got some peanuts here, some salted peanuts. Yeah. You can put, you know, unsalted, you can put cashews on here.
Yeah.
I just love the crunch of the peanuts. And I've got some deep-fried shallots as well. You know, something deep-fried in here, which is good. Have a taste of that, Zoe. Tell me what you think.
I want to taste the sauce first.
The sauce is beautiful. There we go. A big bit of chicken there as well. What do you think?
Look, it is very sweet. Maybe you didn't need that extra little bit of sugar, but it's got some beautiful flavour to it. It's very rich and creamy from the coconut. I actually think you know, that little bit of salt, you actually needed it.
Yep.
Only because it was that balance for the salt and sweet, but really good.
I reckon if I pulled back the sugar for you, it's a cracker.
That would have been a really nice curry. It's still nice, even nicer.
I love it like this.